Hello, everybody. It's me, Carmine DeStefano, your bookman, here with a little bit of an update. Something I was thinking of maybe doing in the future, more so. But I just completed the 8-part series of Supergirl called Woman of Tomorrow. And the reason behind it is because of the fact that there was recently a trailer released for the next James Gunn fiasco known as Supergirl. So I wanted to go into whether or not the series that apparently it's based on, this movie, was anything close to what the trailer that has been released is eliciting. Just because I want to get a few things across. First off, comic books, they're not my thing. I find they are for children and people who don't want to grow up. So I don't get into them. I never was. When I was a teenager, I may have watched cartoons that were about comic books, but I never really bought any after childhood. I do research, though, and in this sense, I was so appalled, if you saw my Superman review, as to not just that, once again, Hollywood makes trash that has nothing to do with films, but that people would defend, even one of my own really good friends, something that had no plot, that was discernible in the context of the movie. Although James Gunn said it was about something, it didn't appear to be about anything remotely close to that or anything as poignant or deep. And it really came off as a boy playing with his toys and filming it. Now, at that point, I wanted this new attempt for Warner Brothers and DC Comics to remake their version of the Marvel Cinematic Universe to die immediately. Because when you look at it, I don't know why they put all their eggs in the James Gunn basket, seeing as how, aside from Peacemaker, from what I know, which is really only a well-watched television show, more or less, because it's got John Cena saying fuck a lot, everything he's done for DC has pretty much been a bomb. And now with this, there's been talk as to how they have portrayed Kara-El. So I decided to go to the source based on what they claimed they were making this movie revolve around. And there are some similarities from what I've seen in the sense that there is a young woman that's traveling with her that apparently has a sword. But if you look at the thumbnail, you'll notice a very significant difference. Now, that was just one issue of an 8-part series, but the movie and the end credit scene, or the final scene from the actual movie itself of Superman, portrays her as James Gunn's favorite hero, the heroic archetype, the broken, struggling individual who likes to bury it all in alcoholism and quips. And I'm sorry to tell you, but no, not in this comic. No. There was, in the very beginning, a portion where Kara-El wanted to go to a red sun planet to feel the effects of alcohol because it was her 21st birthday at the time. But overall, the story had nothing to do with a woman that was so broken. She just wanted to bury it in liquor and, I guess, sex or whatever the hell it is. Also, the portrayal of her physically, in the comics, she's very graceful, very tall, little mannish. Although she has a pretty face, she does have the square jaw and muscle definition. She's not jacked, but this chick looks like she's 16 years old. She doesn't even look like a woman, even though she's called a not woman, a young woman in one way or another. But there was no Lobo. There were bandits. However, throughout the course of the travels, every now and then it was mentioned that somebody would come up to her, threatening her or pointing a gun at her because of what her cousin Superman did. And this is the kind of crap that drives me absolutely nuts. I'm a creator. I'm a writer. And I've been doing it for over 20 years. I've been trying to use this platform and others to get me going on my own because you can't get any help here in the United States. And I see nothing but trash and garbage and fan service being shit out left and right by Hollywood and anything else. It drives me crazy. You don't know what storytelling or writing is. Just so you kids understand, storytelling is not likable characters. And likable characters are not likable because you personally like them or you would personally hang out with them. And good writing isn't good voiceover acting. Good writing and storytelling is using assimilation metaphors and a whole bunch of other almost ironic in sense bits of language to portray something really deep, something that affects society. And as an insightful person, as an artist is supposed to be, you can understand the issues that your specific place and time that you're having, and thus you make, or the benefits, whatever it is, that you're in a golden age, renaissance, what have you, and you're able to portray that or issues or whatever in a form of art, whether it's cinematics, photography, paintings, sculptures, writing. When it comes to United States cinema, it's simply titles that we sell. If you're interested in making billions of dollars, you are not an artist. Not in the sense that you're writing something to do what's best for society and help move culture and people forward. When it comes to this specific series of comics and the character of Kara-El herself, there is, though I don't see it as art because it's not, there is a semblance of purpose behind her character. And that purpose, especially in the story, was to bring hope. That's the concept. And it's something that DC has never been able to put together in any of their movies, especially Superman movies. So those Snyderverse types, yeah, get over yourselves. He made shit too, all right? In fact, Man of Steel was 2 movies in one of which was supposed to be about the elites not caring, and the other being Superman's the Incredible Hulk. He's afraid of his power and doesn't know what to do with it. So it was garbage, and every movie he made after that was garbage too. And now they're doing it again with this schmuck, James Gunn, whose only endearing aspect and addition to United States cinema was the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, which, by the way, works specifically because of the acting and because of the fact that Kevin Feige was the main producer and Marvel was behind it, not DC and not James Gunn. So in this particular trailer, it shows a few minutes of her being snarky, having an attitude, and wanting to get drunk and being somewhat of a, what would you say, loused about, a nothing, a vagabond. That is not who she was in this series. If you want to say, well, another comic, yeah, they're not supposedly making a movie based on other comics. They're supposedly making it based on this series. And this series was about a young woman, and really it was that she was an old woman narrating. There was a lot of writing to it. She was very eloquent, but talkative. But she was writing a tome based on an adventure she had with Kara-El when she was a young lady, let's say about a teenager, after her father was murdered by a man named Krem, not Lobo. And throughout the course of her travels, Kara-El takes it upon herself to explain and teach this young woman that she has to understand there is always hope, to never give up. With all the ugliness that they saw in their different travels throughout the course of the universe, and all these different planets that they went to, where apparently the color of the sun affects Kryptonians in such ways, in all the different aspects and assets and everything that they were able to acquire in terms of knowledge and experience, really what it was Kara-El explaining through actions why you always help people, why you're always good, while showing that she also had a broken side that didn't result in her listening to Blondie through her headphones a la Peter fucking Quill. So whether or not the movie, which was mostly about this Ruth character, or Ruth, or whatever you want to pronounce it, whether or not the movie is going to portray that still remains to be seen. But from what I can tell you, if you're having your doubts, I don't blame you, because as I've mentioned, Warner Brothers and DC did not earn your trust when it comes to making movies based off comics, seeing as how they just keep throwing in Easter eggs and claiming, hey, look, the fans know about this little thing and that little tidbit, while reading Cliff's Notes and trying to shit out films overnight. So I am not going to watch this movie. I'm not going to go see it. DC can take a walk. I have no interest in anything they do, just like I have no interest in anything mostly any other United States movie production does, or whatever it is they release, because Hollywood is trash, the United States sucks ass, and this is just another example of taking somebody else's work, like Wicked, and turning it into trash. I could actually maybe do a video about that series of movies and books, because, as I've said, nothing frustrates me more as a creator than when somebody takes someone else's work and makes it their own. If you wanted to make another Guardians of the Galaxy or another Peter Quill in space just played by a woman, then you make your own movie called The Guardianess of the Galaxy or whatever else. But stop stealing from people if you can't portray their characters and their storylines the way they are meant to be. Now, again, it's not out yet, so we'll see exactly what happens with this film, and we'll see if any future trailers do reflect what it's supposed to be based on. But I can tell you with full confidence that if you look at the comic series and you look at the chick that they're trying to put together here, not even close. Thank you all for watching. More future to come, so stay tuned, take care, and have a great day.